What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I'm your host, Chump Change. This is live and recorded. If you guys have any questions or suggestions for later on this afternoon stream, leave it down in the comments, or you can let me know in the live chat. What's going on? Backwards Miner, Overboard Tech, how you doing? Steven Cicero, we got Sloth Squash in the building. We have All Set Miner, Retro Mike. Who else? Big Black Snake Mining. What's up, buddy? Dumpster Fire, Will Wyman, Lil Stanky. Lil Stanky actually just brought something to my attention, which is pretty neat. We'll get over that in just a few minutes. Let's see. Zapirate, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. Dave Jack. We have Matt Electron. Alexander, what's up, buddy? All right. Let's check out this market today. Let's check it out. 23.4 for Bitcoin. And then ETH is still 16.5 almost. So, I mean, things are holding. I wonder if they're going to hold today after the stock market opens. Let's see. Let's see. Check out the Fear and Greed Index real quick. If you guys have any questions, just at me in the chat. Feel free. So we're looking at a 50 for the Fear and Greed. Let's check out the top 10 coins. Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether, BNB, USD Coin, XRP, OKB, Cardano, Polygon, and Dogecoin. This is number 10. Binance is still down to number 11. So what's going on with that? Isn't Binance getting out of USD? So what's going to happen to this? Does anybody know? Does anybody know? Let me know. Just because I don't use Binance, so I don't really stay up with all that lingo. I'm gonna have to check it out a little later. But nonetheless, this dope Sam Bankman-Fried being hit with some new criminal charges. This video was from CoinDesk actually 2 days ago, but Altcoin Daily put out a cool video last night, so we're gonna watch that if you guys are interested in checking that out with me. Let's see. Boy Matthew, what's up, buddy? Good to see you. All right. Good morning, All Set Miner. It is man, I felt like I could sleep all day. Like, I didn't want to get up this morning. It was brutal. Brutal. All right. Let's watch this from CoinDesk, and we'll see what they have to say about Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried and his new charges, apparently. If you guys have any questions, feel free to just add me in the chat during this, and we'll go from there. Good morning, Integra Guy.
We're talking about your boy SBF. He's back in the news with 12 indictments or allegations against him. Previously, we only had 8, which, you know, that's not too many. 12 is a little bit higher, and things look even worse. There's new indictments here, including a lot of stuff about how he gave political donations to people, did not disclose it correctly. There's also some new counts around wire fraud. All in all, the picture only becomes more bleak. There's some interesting information tidbits within the article you can find on CoinDesk.com about these indictments, including how they were trying to give money to different groups in Washington, D.C., different PACs, how they were choosing to give these donations out, who they were giving the donations through during like FTX or through Alameda. It's a mess. It really is a mess, but it does.
So we'll get into this a little bit further, but I think what happened was when he was donating, you're only allowed to donate so much, and he kind of, I guess, washed some crypto through certain things to get it donated different ways when you're like set at a certain cap, as far as I know, for donations. So that's kind of what, I don't know, I guess they're digging up at this point. I will leave a link to this and all the channels you guys see here in the description below after the fact, so just a heads up on that.
Does shed some light into the actual like political functions within FTX and within Alameda itself. Like, this was a fairly political organization. I'm gonna throw this one over to Adam first. I want to get your take on it. Pretty interesting new findings this morning.
I mean, I think that it's just the continued unraveling of a ball of yarn that we did not appreciate was quite as long as it has turned out to be. Again, like a significant facade was put forward here. If the allegations wind up being true, that as time goes on, we're just seeing is more and more and more wrong. So like it's not a good story. It's not a good piece of news here, but I think it is a continuation. And to a certain extent, you know, I haven't said this in a while. My mother used to tell me, if you can't be a shining example, at least be a horrible warning. And I have to think that that's kind of where we are in SBF's world right now. Is he went from being sort of what everybody aspires to being like the horror story that you really, really, really don't want to find yourself in the shoes of at this moment. So interesting, but not too much else there. Zach?
I'll toss it down to Will. Will.
I got to fact check myself already. Bad day. It's not wire fraud in these cases, though he does have wire fraud against him. The new indictments are actually for bank fraud. So similar, related, but different. Zach, back to you.
Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy story that keeps getting crazier. There's some interesting details in here suggesting some of the inner workings of the FTX organization. Yeah, it's remarkable. It's remarkable to see this, you know, giving money out to political campaigns and causes, seemingly hedging their bets across the board, right? I think SBF established himself as a prominent donor to the Democratic Party, but clearly we're seeing these documents that the Republicans were also targeted, sort of hedging all bets, donating in all places, seemingly strategic, I guess, in the diversity of places in which they were spending their money. But you know, interesting nonetheless that we get to see these details come out in court filings such as this. So anyway, I think that ball of yarn, that big ball of yarn that we keep seeing unspooling here, really does stick with you. Adam, I saw your hand. I'll toss it to you.
Yeah, I mean, so you said strategic. I think I would say cynical, right? I think that what we've seen here is that the persona that SBF put forward was sort of, again, a facade, but it was a facade that was intended to work in the most cynical way that you possibly could imagine, right? He signaled all the right things that you're supposed to signal. He hated all the people who you're supposed to hate, and kind of just like put himself like into a mold that was exactly what sort of like mainstream reality wants. And then he just filled that archetype. And what we see here is that it was all a facade, and that in reality, if the allegations are correct, there was really none of the belief there. It was just, hey, this is the most expeditious way that I can arrange my, myself and perception of me so that I can maximize my goals. But yeah, it's pretty wild. I think I saw a couple of hands. Zach, you want it back?
I'll just take it quick, and then I got to toss it to Jen. But I mean, it recalls that the shibboleths of woke media, the thing that came out with that early story that was revealed through Twitter DMs that he thought he was talking to a reporter off the record, it was published, etc. Right? And I think there is sort of an emerging consensus from people who are watching this story closely is that SBF didn't believe in anything. Therefore, he believed in everything, right? I guess part of the philosophy was the ends justified the means, right? He was seeking to raise as much money as possible, ostensibly or allegedly to do good in the world, right, with that money. And I think whatever got him to the point of most money, as dictated by his understanding of effective altruism, was the right path to pursue. And I think that sort of believing in nothingness, to me, was really exposed in that debate with Eric Voorhees, right? Who's sort of a true crypto libertarian. Famously, SBF and Voorhees squared up on the Bankless podcast and went, batted these ideas back and forth. And it kind of became evident sort of at that time. This was before some of these damning revelations about the Alameda balance sheet. This was before all that, but even sort of that began to open a window onto the fact that maybe this was a bit more nihilistic than previous generations of crypto believers had built. So anyway.
All right, that guy had a huge rambling sentence. What I was going to say is anything that you actually say to a reporter off the record and never going to come out, especially after all the bullshit that came out with him, It's kind of crazy. Good morning, Dave Jack. Good morning, Leo Lusting. Real quick in the chat, we had Gaming with Smokey Dan said, getting things in place for summer in the bull run, just debating on when to get my next 3060. Might be today, this week, but definitely next month for sure. Game with Smokey Dan, why are you choosing 3060s? Just wondering. And then we had Backwards Miner said he got his 20 L3s up and running yesterday. That's insane. Good for you, man.
Lots of good stuff to go here, but Jen, I'm definitely got to get your word on this.
Yeah, no, I think you guys all covered it. There was a source quoted in CNBC this morning who's familiar with the new counts that said that these could add another 40 years to the prison term for SBF if he is convicted of these. It's just crazy to look back over the last 2 years. You know, I know we keep bringing up that we had SBF on the show, to know that all of these really allegedly scammy behaviors were going on behind the scenes. And
Real quick, I think this lady Jen is a lawyer of some sort. I'm not entirely positive, but if anybody knows in the chat, let me know. I think that's what they said before on one of their videos.
nothing that he was saying was effectively true, allegedly. Is just so frightening to see how far he was able to make it in this world. And I think as I read more and more stories about SBF, I wonder about those two people who put up some of that bail money for him, not his parents. I think it was the ex-dean of Stanford and then another ex-Stanford employee. I wonder how their reputation is going to get caught up in this. I don't think we've spoken about it on the Hash before, and if we did, I wasn't here. But Adam, I'll pass it off to you for the next story.
Yeah, two things, and then I'll toss it down to you, Will, and then we can move on. So one thing, just to talk about it, the the bail stuff, super weird, continues to be super weird. It's now been revealed that indeed the two individuals of very, of high net worth have actually not pledged anything close to the money that was supposed to actually be the bail amount, not even 10% of that, and they haven't paid anything. So there's like $700,000 worth of pledged funds if he runs, and the $4 million nominal value of the California property that his parents have pledged, and that's it. So it's like there's all kinds of weird stuff going on there. And then just the last thing is that the cynicism I actually agree with in most circumstances that he has put forward, but it's not the sort of thing that you action on, right? It's the sort of thing that you're aware of because it's a reality of the market, right? Like that infamous comment that he made about how a lot of projects are Ponzi schemes, essentially. That's true. A lot of projects are Ponzi schemes, but recognizing that typically means that as a person who recognizes it, you're like, so I'll avoid that and I'll tell other people to avoid it, not, hey, that's a Ponzi scheme. Let me make all my bets on that and double down on it using my reputation. Apologies for going so long. Will, any final thoughts?
One final thought here is that we got another Easter egg for how they kept like internal records in the document today, so that they have like an internal Excel spreadsheet for keeping track of all these contributions. It's like just funny to see a huge organization that was supposed to be worth
Google
like $30 billion running.
All right, that's enough of that. Shout out to CoinDesk. They're awesome. Thanks for bringing that video to light. I actually want to watch all Coin Daily's video. Again, I'll leave a link to their channel and video down in the description below. All Coin Daily did a great video with some news clips and stuff, so we'll get to that in just a second. Game One Smokey Dan said, for the 12 gigabyte, as pairing with my 2060 12 gigabyte cards, because I asked him why he was getting 3060s. He said, all the same manufacturer, as looking to have an 8-card rig, looking at a server case in the house, or to house them all, as well as PSU to power. Nice. That's awesome, dude. Good for you. Good for you. That's sick. Have a server case to put the cards in now, but it will only fit 6, which will house 6 3060 Ti's, as like the dual fan cards better. Gotcha. All right, makes sense. All right, let's listen to this FTX thing. So what we'll do is I'm going to talk about more crypto mining stuff in the afternoons, and we'll do news stuff in the mornings, if that makes sense, hopefully. I think that's a good plan. But all right, let's listen to this. Allcoin Daily, shout out to them. I'll leave a link down below.
New legal trouble for the founder of the now bankrupt cryptocurrency exchange FTX. Today, prosecutors unsealed 4 new charges against Sam Bankman-Fried. The new charges could add another 40 years of prison time if Bankman-Fried is convicted.
Sam Bankman-Fried, the FTX co-founder, charged with hundreds of illegal campaign donations. He's accused of, quote, flooding the political system with tens of millions of dollars of illegal contributions, according to new indictments. The new 12-count indictment adds 4 more charges related to the collapse of the cryptocurrency exchange FTX, which prosecutors say was a multi-billion-dollar fraud. Prosecutors accuse Sam Bankman-Fried of essentially stealing FTX customer money to fund his political givings and then covering it up. To help us understand what's new in the...
God, he looks like such a creep. Look at him. Did you trust that face? Looks like a warlock. All right. Geek of All Trades said her voice doesn't sound real. I wonder if she's a deep fake. I don't think so. But I guess he might be getting like adding another 40 years to his sentence or something. It's just insane. Ovalbore Tech said 3060s with the Hynix revision 4 are super duper good for memory hard algos. Interesting. Low power and core, I agree. Samsung or bust. 3060s are awesome with the Samsung chips, said Sadie sometimes. What do you think I can mine with the 3060s on Unmineable or anywhere else? I assume that's what he said, the TVG gamer. I think, honestly, you can really mine with the 3060s on Unmineable. I mean, because what's happening is it's mining a different algo and you're getting paid out in whatever coin you want. So I have a whole video for Unmineable if you're interested on the channel. I'll put a link in the chat in just a second.
The SBF investigation and the charges against SBF thus far, NBC's investigative correspondent Tom Winter.
Tom, walk us through what we've learned in these new charges. What do we know about these charges?
Sure, Ellison. So as you said, it's those 4 new counts and that additional jail time that could be the most immediate concern for Sam Bankman-Fried. What we learned today in an additional 25 pages worth of charging documents are more specifics and more details specifically tied to the campaign donation scheme that federal prosecutors allege Bankman-Fried engaged in. So according to their indictment, he funneled money through straw donors. That would be if I had maxed out all my donations in a given political cycle.
So that's what I was saying. You can max out your donations. You're only allowed a certain amount per person for political parties.
I wanted to continue my donations. If I gave money to you, Ellison, and then you made those donations in your name, that's straw donorship, and that is against the law. And so that's what they charged here today. We knew that he engaged in some of these activities in the past, according to prosecutors. What's new today is how they structured it and how they put it together, according to the indictment. And specifically, the totals of this are starting to really come into focus. Tens of millions of dollars of donations to Republicans as well as to Democrats. The majority, I should say, to Democrats. It's a case that obviously will be closely following. Bankman-Fried has pleaded not guilty.
Now, this next part's interesting, and honestly, this kind of makes me angry. This makes me frustrated to live in America, because FTX Japan users are allowed a total withdrawal of their funds. Users rejoice.
What? How are they allowed a total withdrawal? That's insane. Was anybody here? Did you guys lose any money in FTX? I'm going to put a poll in the chat, actually. I want to know if anybody was involved in this.
In their escape from FTX. So
or
what
affected
are
by
our
this,
regulators doing to help us out as individuals, say getting our money off FTX? Or what are our regulators doing in general to help cryptocurrency thrive in the United States? It seems like the only thing that Gary Gensler has done in the past few years has meet with Sam Bankman-Fried regularly. And the only thing he's done in the past few weeks is talk about how everything except Bitcoin is a security. And this is not an official edict by him or the SEC. I guess he's just getting more vocal, saying that, you know, everything except Bitcoin is a security. It's kind of like almost just creating a little bit of FUD, and the Bitcoin maximalists are certainly running with this. It's even more interesting that this article that Michael Saylor is quote tweeting, where Gary Gensler says everything but FTX is possibly a security. The same article is very critical of Gary Gensler for being so close with FTX. So the regulator whose opinion you're really promoting and propagating was in bed with FTX, Saylor. You're not talking about this. Friendly reminder, and this is from a lawyer and Bitcoiner and contributor of Bitcoin Magazine, so this is maybe a message to the Bitcoin maxis. Friendly reminder that Gensler's opinion on what is or isn't a security are not legal dispositive. In this country, judges, not SEC chairs, ultimately determine what the law means and how it applies. Now, it doesn't mean his thoughts are irrelevant, they're just not dispositive.
Right, because it wasn't like an actual official statement, I guess. That's what they're trying to say.
Which is to say, the SEC can bring enforcement actions and get settlements, but those aren't legal precedents. Companies, individuals can choose to go to trial, where the SEC would have to prove to a judge that something was a security if that's an element of the allegation. I'm going to like this. I appreciate the alpha. And Bitcoin maximalists celebrating Gary Gensler's ideology that everything is a security other than Bitcoin, cheering on the regulators, cheering on the regulation. Surprising and very dangerous for Bitcoin. Positive competition in the crypto space makes Bitcoin better. Monopolizing anything is dangerous to liberty and innovation. And innovation is good for Bitcoin. Case in point, I think the only reason that Bitcoin has ordinals, NFTs, inscriptions, whatever you want to call them this year, native in the Bitcoin blockchain, is because Ethereum did it first with much success in 2021. And now Bitcoin has their own version. Inscriptions or ordinals or Bitcoin NFTs have led to a big spike in number of full node runners, many new Lightning users, new partially signed Bitcoin transaction usage, fee versus rewards are up 2.75%. So the craze goes in ebbs and flows, but all of this seems good for Bitcoin. Do you agree? And of course, Gary Gensler and the SEC, they always maintain that what they're doing, regulating or attempting to regulate crypto, is in essence to help you, to help users, to help the actual investors. Now, Charles Hoskinson just dropped a bombshell revelation about the real motive behind the recent regulatory attacks on cryptocurrency. I want you to tell me what you think of this video, and props to JChains for creating this video, by the way. Give him a follow if you have yet to. And now let me know what you think. Is this the real motive behind Gary Gensler?
According to You Today, Cardano creator Charles Hoskinson recently revealed that he believes the real trigger behind the recent regulatory attacks on crypto are not because of protecting investors, but rather about maintaining the status quo of the traditional financial system. Now, we all feel this. The SEC is dirty from the top down. Do you agree with that statement? Let us know down in the comments.
Now, in other news, Solana went offline again. Now it's back online following a second restart, but the quick take is the Solana blockchain is back working again after 2 attempts to fix it. Engineers are monitoring its performance. I'm reminded of this video posted by a Cardano bull, Stake with Pride. Every time Solana goes down, let's rewatch Solana co-founder celebrate focus on getting paid plus shortcuts rather than engineering discipline.
That's kind of messed up. So I don't know. You guys involved with Solana at all? And I'm going to end this poll in the chat. I feel bad. 15% is that were affected by the FTX crash. That's terrible. And then we have 85% saying no. Someone else said they lost everything in BlockFi, if I'm not mistaken. I don't remember where it was, but I feel bad about that. That sucks. All right, let's see.
Now, Solana is certainly not out. Solana is going to be here. Cardano also here differentiating itself. It doesn't go down. It's very decentralized. It's telling that the Solana co-founder said this about Cardano.
It's been popular to shit on Cardano. So I'm going to say Cardano next. And that is because I used to be a Haskell programmer. The approach that they're taking is so extremely esoteric, with such a huge stick up their ass about correctness, that this is why they're never going to ship. And it's almost like, they're trying, right? They're trying to build something that is like a cathedral. As an engineer that had to ship code, and get paid for it. It's just that stuff doesn't work. You got to swallow, kiss a couple frogs in your design and ship stuff and just get it done. And
cryptocurrency is the future, ladies and gentlemen. Now that might be hard to envision, just like in the 80s, it was hard to envision personal computers gaining adoption.
Did anybody see a short like this yesterday? I think it might have been Altcoin Daily that put it out, but it was funny. They're talking about how computers are going to blow up if they can all eventually talk to each other.
In the 90s, it was hard to envision internet gaining adoption, but cut to 10 years later, now people were sure of it. Wouldn't it have been amazing to be in on personal computers in 1983 if you had some vision? So take a look at this. Debate on the Today Show in 1983. Will home computers gain adoption? Crypto is here today. My name is Aaron. Subscribe to the channel. We're just getting started. Give the video a like if you got value.
Oh, he does play it at the end.
Home computer sales, classroom computer sales seem to have peaked and now have hit a flat period, and some say they're going to...
I don't think so.
Oh, yes, they've hit a flat period. What should that tell us?
I really don't believe that they've hit a flat period. The computer market has been and is rising at about 30% per year. And nowhere has there been a flat period.
It is not rising at nearly the rate it was going.
Yes, it is.
No. Well, we disagree. We're looking at two different sets of numbers. My question to you is the home computer destined to become the CB of the 80s, the hula hoop of the 80s?
Well, I'm glad you brought this analogy, because like a CB, it won't be very useful in its present form, which is just talking to yourself and to your computer. But like a CB, when it starts talking to other computers throughout the whole country, when we have several million machines interconnected, and people can talk to each other and can exchange views and can transact, can buy and sell information, can buy and sell informational services, labor. I think it's going to be a very interesting period where we'll have an information marketplace, a new way of life.
I quite disagree.
I want to get him angry.
Yeah, I think that won't work. I think that the home computer is going to suffer the same fate, by and large, as, say, the home movie camera. People had the idea, and still have the idea, that if I have a very expensive, a very good home movie camera, then they can make very good movies. The trouble
You're still
is,
got to be a good movie maker first.
That's right. The trouble is you have to have an idea, okay, and people forget that. Similarly, to write good and interesting programs on a computer, one has to have an idea. Ideas are hard to come by.
Professor Weizenbaum, Professor de Touzos. Thank you.
Boo. Well, that. Oh, Jesus. Didn't mean to click on that. What the hell is that? Anyways, that's nuts. That guy's living in the past, clearly. All right, let's see. We had some conversations in the chat. John Mines said, I was mining to BlockFi for the interest, and they stopped withdrawals, and I lost close to 100K. Learned my lesson. Not your keys, not your crypto. Dude, that is awful. John, I'm sorry. That is terrible. Fully Electric said, CCXD, I still have well over 2 years worth of earnings locked up in Gemini Earn, hoping they will pay me back something. Dude, that's crazy. So what did they, oh man, I've never been involved with Gemini either. Browser history scares me. Yeah, that's the history channel. This is the history channel. Dude, I'm a wicked history nerd. That's all I do is watch History Channel or crypto stuff. That's it. Literally nothing else. All right, let's look at this real quick. This is Mr. Little Stanky in the chat actually asked if I heard of this yet, and I haven't. So this is an optical chip, promises 350 times speed up over RTX 3080 in some algorithms. Look at this. It looks like a fiber optic line going into the CPU of this thing with no cooler. Like what is happening? It's called Light Intelligence. Is that how you say that? A Boston-based Photonics, is that how you say it? Photonics company, is that how you say that? Revealed the world's first small form factor photonics-based computing device, meaning it uses light to perform compute operations. The company claims the unit is hundreds of times faster than a typical computing unit, such as an RTX 3080. 350 times faster to be exact, but only applies to certain types of applications. Interesting. Oh, look at, they have a video right here. Let's watch this. Let's watch this, I guess. Oh, it's gonna be loud. Hold on. Be nice if I could read that word, photonics, right? Yeah, let's see. I don't know. I have no idea what this is about, so we're gonna watch it, see what it is. The future GPUs right here. Oh god, that's loud as hell. It's a pretty cool video though. Give him that. That was pretty badass setup. That was cool as hell. I give them props in the beginning of that video. That was really cool.
In the future that you just saw will not only generate massive amount of data, they will also need to be supported by an equally large amount of computing power. This means in the future, our computing system will experience a much higher demand for performance than at present. To support these innovations, we must find newer, more efficient ways of computing.
The semiconductor industry has experienced extraordinary generational improvements in transistor density and performance over many decades. However, as we look ahead, continued scaling is getting increasingly difficult and costly. And as scaling increases, power density further compounds the challenge. The industry needs a new technology that can embark on a new multi-generational scaling journey, and we believe the path lies with integrated silicon photonics.
When light travels and scatters in non-homogeneous media, it resembles some form of mathematical linear operation. This is how we see things through our eyes. When light is emitted from or scattered off an object, some of it reaches our eyes and eventually forms images on our retina. This process is a form of two-dimensional spatial Fourier transform. At Light Intelligence, we use light for the ubiquitous linear mathematical operation vector matrix multiplication, or MATMO for short.
It better be copyright-free music, because I don't want to get hit for this.
When light enters our system, it is encoded by an array of optical modulators to form an input optical vector. It then enters a field of programmable optical scattering media, which represents the matrix. After the input optical vector travels through the matrix, the output optical vector naturally represents the result of the MATMO. The most attractive part here is the MATMO itself is passive, meaning
cool as hell.
no energy is consumed in the process.
Wow.
Moreover, the MATMO is completed within the time that light takes to pass through the matrix, which is only a fraction of a nanosecond. Finally, the energy efficiency and low latency properties are independent of input optical signal frequency, which means optical MATMO could support large throughput. In summary, energy efficiency, low latency, and large throughput are the reasons we believe optical MATMO is the key to continue scaling computing power beyond the Moore's law. In 2019, Intelligence demonstrated the world's first integrated optical.
Imagine if they ripped off the hash blade and it was a real thing. Geek of all trades. Imagine if this is how it worked. Whatever they're talking about.
Running neural networks for handwritten digits image recognition. At the time, we had about 100 photonic devices in our chip, running at about 100 kilohertz. It was an exciting technology breakthrough. However, it was far from realizing the full potential of optical computing. To bring the theoretical superiority of optical MATMO into reality, substantial engineering development is necessary. A critical question is how we integrate a large number of optical and electronic devices together. A commercial-grade optical MATMO engine probably will contain tens of thousands of photonic devices. Our solution is to design our own large-scale integrated silicon photonic chips and electronic chips, and then put them together using an advanced packaging method. After 2 years of hard work and brilliant innovations, we are proud to present our second-generation optical computer, PACE, the Photonic Arithmetic Computing Engine. We managed to integrate around 10,000 photonic devices in a single chip, running system clock of 1 GHz, which provides over 1 million times the compute power of our previous generation.
Jeez, that's crazy.
The core of PACE is an integrated silicon photonic chip and a CMOS microelectronic chip. Flip chip packaged together, the electronic chip contains both the digital and analog circuits. The digital portion consists of the control logic and SRAM. The control logic is responsible for regulating data flow and I/O, while the SRAM is used for an on-chip data storage. The analog portion serves as the bridge between the digital logic and the photonic devices. For each optical MATMO, the input vector values are first extracted from the on-chip SRAM, turned into analog values by the digital to analog converter, and then applied to their corresponding optical modulators through microbumps between the electronic chip and the photonic chip. The optical modulators then attenuate the incoming light accordingly to form the input optical vector. The 64 by 64 optical matrix is encoded with a similar mechanism. The input optical vector then propagates through the optical matrix and generates the output optical vector. The output optical vector will hit an array of photodetectors, which turns optical intensity into electric current. The electric signals then travel back to the electronic chip through microbumps, pass through transimpedance amplifiers, and then analog to digital converters before returning to the digital domain. In total, thousands of microbumps are used to facilitate data traffic between the electronic chip and the photonic chip. In addition to the 3D packaged photonic and electronic chips, a fiber array is used to connect the laser source. The whole assembly is mounted onto a PCIe-sized PCB.
So look at that.
The peripheral components.
Hold on. Look at that. That's crazy. Look how small that is. Like it's just nuts. It's nuts to look at. Insane.
Mounted onto a PCIe-sized PCB board. The peripheral components, such as power supply, system I/O connectors, are all attached to the PCB board.
Jeez. Just a fiber optic line, that's it.
PACE aims to solve combinatorial problems. Their application includes bioinformatics, traffic scheduling, circuit design, and material discovery. Such problems are typically NP-complete, meaning it is mathematically impossible to solve under polynomial timescale. However, once an NP-complete problem is solved, it is relatively simple to map the solution to another NP-complete problem. One example of such a problem is...
So real quick, in the chat, Daniel Ring says, yeah, crazy fake. I don't think it's fake. Obviously, for one, having an article and having like a prototype, at least they're showing it working, explaining it, that's already 10 times more effort than that Hashblade bullshit put in, right? At least they're showing you how everything's working. So this is kind of it's a neat breakdown. I mean, this guy might as well be speaking Chinese, and that wasn't supposed to be like, anything racial. I just don't understand what the hell he's talking about until I like dive into this a little bit more, because I'm not this kind of computer brain guy. But this is insane. It's just insane to me how everything's working.
Is the max cut problem. Assume we have a collection of vertices. They are connected by some edges in irregular patterns. If we group the vertices into two complementary subsets, there will be some edges between them. The grouping method with the most edges between the two subsets is called the max cut. An equivalent definition is the grouping method with the least edges internal to the two subsets. We chose iterative method to solve the max cut problem. It involves large number of sequential matrix multiplication. Therefore, the low power and low latency optical matmore is ideally suited for such computation. Here in the animation, the vertices are labeled by two colors, representing the two subsets. The edges connecting vertices of the same color are internal to one subset. They are labeled with the corresponding color as well. The goal is to minimize the number of colored edges. The iterative process starts with a random color assignment. Many edges are colored. With each iteration, the color assignment of the vertices evolves so that less edges are colored. There is frequent back and forth due to intentionally added noise. Eventually, the color assignment will converge to the max cut. In each iteration, an optical matmore is performed. Thanks to the ultra-low latency optical matmore, we are able to perform the task more than 100 times faster than the state-of-the-art GPU. To the best of our knowledge, this is the first time superiority of optical computing is demonstrated.
Our technology exploits the fundamental properties of light for high-performance, energy-efficient arithmetic computation and data transfer. Lightelligence is using silicon photonics to address the challenges of data communication and computational density confronting traditional electronic architectures. However, with any new technology, there are major challenges to overcome, often requiring multiple generations of research and development. Our technology development roadmap systematically confronts and addresses these challenges so that we can guide our path to production. PACE is a successful demonstration of high-performance optical arithmetic processing, the culmination of years of development and a major milestone in our technology roadmap. With PACE's demonstrated results, we are now ready to integrate optical computing technology as a modular component of our product roadmap. Our optical interconnect technology can be utilized over a diverse set of transmission media, ranging from fiber optic cables to waveguides integrated at the chip, interposer,
I'm selling
and wafer
everything.
levels. It can deliver high throughput, low latency, and energy-efficient data transfer and networking. These technologies give us a powerful arsenal to deploy products which scale in form factor and performance to attack the needs of accelerators, servers, and data centers.
Wow, that's crazy.
Founded in 2017, Lightelligence is the leading photonic computing company in the world.
This guy looks
Our
fake.
diverse team of scientists,
fake.
engineers, and coders are transforming cutting-edge research on photonics into real-world solutions, like PACE, that will power the next generation of computing. Currently, our team is preparing for the launch of Lightelligence's product in 2022. In advance of this release, Lightelligence is continuing to partner up with industry leaders in semiconductor supply chain, cloud computing, finance, autonomous driving to demonstrate the viability and versatility of photonic computing. The emergence of photonic chip and the processing power they provide will not only result in a significant boost to the semiconductor industry, but also lead to magnificent opportunities. This development have the potential to be one of the key technological innovations of our time. When the first electronic computer was invented in 1940s, no one could have imagined the indispensable role it would play in the 21st centuries. Similarly, when the internet was first launched, no one could have predicted its huge influence on the society today. So, what will tomorrow look like in our constantly evolving world? All we know is, with improvements in photonic technology, our computing power will increase by thousands of times. What seems unthinkable and beyond your imagination now may become a reality in not far future. And lightelligence will be an integral part of that future. We hope you'll stay tuned for our next breakthrough, and it will happen sooner than you think.
That's crazy. Super good editing on that video, by the way. That's super impressive. Weird. Well, I mean, now I'm concerned with all my old shit. All of our GPUs now that are just normal. You get something like this, an NVIDIA RTX 3080. Right? It says hundreds of times faster than an RTX 3080. That's insanity. Insanity. It blows my mind. This little fiber optic line powers this CPU. GPU mining is dead. FML. FML. That is horrible. Man. I don't know what this is. What's this video? Probably nothing. Can I open this up? What is this? Optical accelerates 2 to 3 compute limits. Yeah, I don't know. Does anybody understand that? Let me know. If you understand it, sweet. If you don't, then you're in my position, because no idea. It's kind of crazy though. It's kind of crazy. Let's see if there's anything else. I think they pretty much like just said everything that would be in this article. That's amazing. But whatever. Is what it is. Can it mine Pigeon? Maybe. I would assume it would probably just break the entire network. Realistically, market's still looking pretty good. All right, you guys have any questions? You want to talk about anything specific? We have about 15 minutes left or so. Let me look, see if I can find anything else to talk about. But if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. They use it to teleport things, says Black Sales. It won't hit commercial markets for many years, and then the tech will be reverse engineered by many other companies. Yeah, that's kind of true. Probably true. I think Casper will eventually use something related to this. I think is called optical proof of work or something like that, said Nerd Beast. Really? For Casper? Interesting. How's Casper looking today, actually? That's one thing I don't mind, or haven't mind yet. That and KDA I still haven't got involved with. Up 0.2%. Still under a penny. Has this ever been over a penny? I assume it has. It's the all-time high. All-time high. Oh, not even. So it's almost at its all-time highs. That's kind of cool. Kind of cool. It's getting there, man. Getting there. You guys hold Caspa? How many of you hold Caspa? Put a 1 in the chat if you hold Caspa. Interested to know. I mean, we could see. We see what happens. Let's see. Let's go to KDA. Just want to check. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna check out that Google sheet too that we did. Mr. Patrick Murphy and Dupran and Steven Cicero. Wow, all you guys hold Caspa. Nice. I got some Caspa, not enough to matter. Interesting. I don't have any, so you're ahead of me, Digital Fortress. Don't worry about it. Nerd Beast, Old War Tech, everybody's got it. Nice. Guys, hit that like button. Appreciate you for hanging out. Let's see. So Cadena is at $1.13. As we know, its all-time high was 27 bucks. When Panda would have been loaded, but he sold it all before it pumped. Poor bastard. Poor bastard. All right, let me let's see. So we did, let me go to I'm gonna start a new tab, I think. Let's go to my channel, right? Oh, there we are. Gonna pause this. I put in the pinned comment down below. I put the Google Doc that we made the other day. Kind of want to just talk about this for a second. So again, Mr. Patrick Murphy, I believe it was Steven Cicero, if I'm not mistaken, and Dupran actually organized this a bit for me. So, well, I mean, this first page is pretty much the same. I went through and I did a whole bunch of mini box miners to give us the best, more or less the best prices we could find. Or not the best prices, but every price on these sites, right? And they broke it up into different tabs along the bottom, which is kind of neat. So I haven't really dove into this again yet, but I guess you guys can go through this whole thing and see what or where is the cheapest place to purchase whatever you're looking for as of right now. And then we'll have to update this like once a week. Maybe we'll do this like every Friday. Now that it's kind of laid out, it'd be pretty easy to rip through. But this was as of 2/24, which was last Friday. So hopefully this is helpful to some of you guys. I thought it was a pretty cool idea. Anyways, Leo Lusting, no worries. It was just nice to see who had the better deals and who was like ripping people off. You know what I mean? Not really ripping people off, but who was charging more. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize that the guy that called in on Saturday night was the Endless Mining guy. I knew it was I knew I heard the name before, but I forgot it was the company that the guy that owns the company, Endless Mining. So I appreciate him calling in. I kind of feel bad I didn't really talk to him about it or anything along those lines, but it's pretty neat, man. Pretty neat. He's got a whole bunch of stuff over there, so check them out. I know DJ loves them, but this thing's sick. I got to go through and do some more like Mining Cave and all these ones, Endless Mining, Kaboom Racks, BT Miners. I got to fill in the rest of this stuff today, hopefully. But yeah, that's my plan. That is my plan. All right, what else you guys got? Let's see. Edge Hot Water got hacked. Oh, sorry, Hot Wallet. Why did I say water? What the hell am I saying? Edge Hot Wallet got hacked. Let me see. Where'd you see that, Mr. So watch Zelcore. Let me see. This? I've never even used it. This right here? This has been hacked? Why'd you say watch Zelcore? Kyle Rosa, please. How is Render? We can check out Render. Let's see how it's doing. See how it's doing today. 108. It's up 7.1%. To be honest, like I said, I think this could be a decent buy. But I took the day off yesterday. I tried to anyways, so I didn't really dig into it at all. But I don't know. All the stuff I'm seeing, all-time high is $8. If this is anywhere good. Let me see. Yeah, so back in 2021 is when it hit $8 or so. November 2021. What's Render? Not James. So, all right. Well, we'll do one more quick video where what am I doing? Let's see if we can find any good videos on it. Ugh. So this guy right here is where this guy Doc Crypto or whatever is the guy that I watched a couple videos on. He's got some things. I guess it's being integrated with Apple at some point, but I want to make sure it's all like legit 100%. This video was a day ago. So I showed this the other day or yesterday. I don't know if you guys want to watch it again. Probably not, but Render is just a let me see if I can get the actual page up actually. Hold on. Let me see. Render network. It's this right here. So it is a it's a distributed GPU rendering on the blockchain where it like, so when you go to render, like rendering is like when you for us as YouTubers export a video, it more or less it renders it into a file that you can upload, right? So to be able to render something like that's going in the metaverse or whatever, you need a lot of computer power, and they're trying to make a blockchain that will basically have other GPUs render and then push shit back to, you know, the point of origin. Like it'll just come out, it'll get split up into a bunch of GPUs and then pushed back to that person within minutes instead of like a day to render, you know what I mean? So it's kind of interesting, but again, I want to verify that this is all legit. I'll you know what, we could just play this video actually. Let's play this. We'll listen to this real quick. This is pretty much
Hi,
what it
this is Jules Urbach, CEO of Otoy. Otoy's been at the forefront of GPU rendering for almost a decade now. Our product, Octane Render, was one of the first GPU renders to provide cinematic realism to film jobs and television. Today it's used in productions like the opening of Westworld, and it's also now a big part of video game development, especially for AR and VR. Octane's a very special GPU software. There's really no limit to the amount of compute power and render power that you can throw behind a render job with our software. Our idea is that at a certain point, scaling GPU rendering power is too difficult. Rendering locally on a network and even in the cloud just hit a wall. It's impossible to leverage all of the GPUs in the world efficiently without some sort of decentralized system that allows that to be tracked and managed. Today, we're very proud to introduce the Render Token, which is a ERC20 token that's based on the Ethereum blockchain. This token will allow anyone to participate in render jobs and be rewarded with render tokens that they can cash in. Everyone creating renders and creating content through this system has authorship and chain of title established on the blockchain permanently.
So the most intriguing thing about this for me is that apparently the new Apple iPads, iPhones, like things along those lines, Apple is going to be making a well, it's integrated with render already on all those units. And if that is true, that render is going to be into the Apple tablets, iPads, whatever, then it's I feel like it's only destined to blow up, but that's just me.
Our goal is not only to create a distributed peer-to-peer network of unlimited rendering power, but also to have a marketplace where services and assets and even modules built on the rendering network can be distributed and shared and monetized by everyone. There's nothing that's going to be rendered through the render token that isn't coming from artistic or creative intent. That's the whole point of the service. So there's a lot that can be done beyond just creating great artwork and media or even video games with this technology. There's scientific simulations, light leaking simulations for architecture that can be built inside of the rendering system. And this means that you can actually perform render jobs that are useful for the sciences and for research and get rewarded at the same time. This is a great use of the blockchain and of everyone's GPU power. Our vision as a company has been to democratize compute and rendering power, and this is one of the best ways to do it. Please visit us for more progress updates on rendertoken.com and on our social media links below. We're incredibly excited about this service, and we hope you are too. Thank you so much. This is Jules Urbach signing off.
So yeah, that's just the video on the actual page itself, but that gives you kind of an idea. There's a whole bunch of people that cover stuff like this, so again, I got to rip into this a little better, but it's interesting to me to see something that we could, I mean, not really we could, I guess, because it's closed as of like getting new people on board as of right now. So you have to, it's not like a mineable coin. It's you basically are accepted into their ecosystem, right? Where you can then help out the render processing, I guess. So that's as of right now closed. But if it ever becomes, you know, available to us that have a bunch of GPUs and say you're not mining with them anymore, it could be a good option. It'd be kind of cool, but we'll see. I think it's overblown. It said mine some 10. They just have good marketing and good partners. Let's see, what did Retro Mike say? Oh, Solana BTC. Gotcha. All right. My coworker has been telling me about it for months. About render? Really? Interesting. Well, it's available on Coinbase. It's super easy to get, right? So that's kind of whatever. Someone in the chat, was it Kyle that was saying this was hacked? Am I not mistaken? Then it went up. Yeah, it's I mean it has went up a bit, right? So looking at the looking right here, 45, I mean, yeah, about 50 cents, and then it pumped up to about $1.50. So yeah, 3x wasn't too bad, man. Wasn't too bad. So yeah, maybe, you know, maybe I'll try to get some stuff together this afternoon for render, and we can talk about it a bit more. But it stinks because it's like legit just, I don't want to play the same videos over and over, but this guy's stuff right here, like, he explains a bit. Where is it? Let me find the, so this is kind of a spot. See how it says like 25 hours, a MacBook Pro render? It would be a 20-minute frame, 76 frames equals 25 hours to render that. And then if they, you know, sent it into this network where it would be distributing the 76 frames to a bunch of different GPUs, it would render it. It would cost you $2.50, or maybe, sorry, $2.50 in render credits. So 2.5 render for 15 minutes of time. You would get this entire thing rendered and back to you. So that's why I see it being useful, because if people are like creating stuff for the metaverse or just anything like AI stuff, like the rendering in general is getting bigger and bigger, and it's not going to slow down at all. So like something like this just seems very intriguing to me. Anyways, Master Plan Part 3, said DJ Mines. Tesla big day Wednesday. I want to see what you're talking about. That's neat. Maybe I'll look into that later today. Send me some links, DJ. I want to check it out. That's awesome. All right. Anyways, let's do a quick AMA before we get out of here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask. And we're gonna be getting out of here until about 2 p.m. today. I'll be back later on. Mega announcement from Tesla. Maybe Tesla Model 2, $25,000 car. Not sure what they will say. If they made an affordable car, goddamn, that would blow up. That would blow up. What's for lunch? Is that what you're asking me, Mr. Rudputs? I don't know. Good question. Good question. I need breakfast first. Need breakfast first. UK Miners Club. What is he saying? The fact this being used by the likes of Hollywood, etc., means leaps and bounds are coming. Yes. What the hell was that? What is that? Something just like popped across both of my screens. That was so weird. Interesting. You guys didn't see it, but all right. How much is render? So right now it's $1.50 or so, and it's, I mean, it's relatively cheap. You know what I mean? Don't hold your breath, said Ovalbor. They made $35,000 Model 3 for 3 days, over 2 years after it launched. Interesting, said Ovalbor Tech. So that's about Tesla making the car. Black Sales says short render. I wouldn't short anything right now, to be honest. That's just me personally, not financial advice. Render Network isn't backed by miners. It is not decentralized. It's a company, not a blockchain. Interesting. Mine some 10. Yeah, no, I wouldn't say it was backed by miners. I didn't say that. I know it's not mineable. It's not a mineable coin. It's just another use for our GPUs, right? That's pretty much what I'm getting at. Because if we're gonna have our GPUs off, say, right, and they're not doing anything for us, and people have GPUs to just throw on a network that could possibly make you some sort of money, it's no different than taking Flux and putting it in a node and not mining. Like, it's just it's something else earning you money, right? So instead of having GPUs that are off, if you could potentially use them for something else that is actually useful to another network and you could get paid in it, you know what I mean? My GPU will never off. They can't stop me. Never shut it off. Pretty Hearts said, oh no, imagine. You made me look, you bastard. Hey, F you, Network Bits, you bastard. I was there last night for a little bit, but I jumped out of your stream. I was too tired. I didn't feel like talking. Let's see. Made you look. Dude, you did, you bastard. You did. Yeah, we went too long on Saturday night. My screen up there decided to change to purple hearts. It was like the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Can't stop, won't stop mining, said Nerd Beast. Perfect. All right, render is permissioned as opposite to a permissionless blockchain that most miners are accustomed to. 2720 crypto. Interesting. All right, guys. Hopefully you all have a good Monday. I know it sucks going back to work, but hopefully you enjoy your day. I will see you guys around lunchtime, depending where you are, or dinner time, wherever you are in the world. And yeah, I'll see you guys soon. Hopefully you have a good day, and peace out. Smash that like on the way out.